What's going on, everyone? My name is Miles. Welcome back to another video. Take a little bit of a break from life, from work, and stop and enjoy some video games right here. We have some really good news for Apex Legends, some really cool changes, some buffs, some nerfs that I'm going to cover all right here in this video. We're going to talk about all the nerfs and buffs coming in this next update tomorrow, which will include the Crypto Town takeover. So before we get into it, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Apex Legends content like this. And starting off, we have the Lifeline Buff. Now, I know you guys saw in the trailer, the Lifeline Buff looks really good, but we have the full details of it right here that I'm going to show you, and also play some background footage of the dev stream that showed off everything that's going on here. So first off, Lifeline has an additional or a change to her passive. So Combat Revive now replaces the Combat Medic. So basically, she can deploy her dock drone to revive teammates, and the dock will deploy a shield, which is her revive shield. You guys know the blue shield that protects her whenever she revives. That dock drone will deploy that shield while reviving Lifeline's teammate, leaving Lifeline free to defend or revive someone else. This fully replaces Lifeline's old passive, including fast heal. So it's a little bit of a nerf buff. They did take away fast heal, but she got a way better passive on this one. So I'm really excited for this new Lifeline buff. I think she's going to be meta for sure, and I think she's going to be one of the best characters in the game. So I'm really excited for Lifeline. Also, her tactical ability has changed a little bit. Lifeline's tactical cooldown was or is now 45 seconds, used to be 60 seconds. So a little bit of a buff there. That's really good. Also, her ultimate's been buffed a little bit. Lifeline's care package now contains more items. Care package will contain 3 times more small healing items when it decides to spawn small healing items. Care package will contain 2 times more attachments when it decides to spawn attachments. And I still think you obviously have your guaranteed purple either shield, knockdown, or helmet. So that's really good for her care package to become a little bit more useful. Also, we have some buffs for good old Octane. Now, these are some really good buffs in my decision. I don't think Octane is going to be meta, but I do think he's going to be more fun and more usable in your pub matches and maybe even low ranked matches. So when you activate a stem, it will remove all slowing effects. So like if you're in a caustic gas trap, or if you're getting shot by a weapon and it slows you down, it will remove those slow effects. The stem sprinting speed is now increased by 10%, so he even goes faster when you do your stem. And then his ultimate is really cool now. I'm waiting to see how the direction of it changes, but they say players can now double jump in midair after using Octane's launch pad. So you can use that to either go further in the direction you're already going, but they also say that players can change direction easily from the double jump. So you can just turn to the right and then dash that way, turn to the left and dash that way. I don't really know exactly how it works. It sounds like it will work really smoothly. So let's just hope that this is a really good buff to Octane's ultimate. Definitely not something I anticipated or I saw coming. I was thinking more like redeploy or something. So this is going to be really cool to see how well this works for Octane. Moving on to Revenant. Now, Revenant is incredible. This buff is one of the best buffs to any legend in the game, and Revenant's got really good off of this buff. His tactical will now cancel Pathfinder mid-grapple, Wraith mid-phase walk attempt before the phase walk actually activates. So I guess it's that little 1 second delay that you'll see in the nerf that we'll talk about with Wraith in just a few seconds. But it will now also prevent Mirage cloaked revive, which is really insane because that Mirage cloak revive is really clutch sometimes. The Mirage decoy control activation and the Lifeline combat revive. So Lifeline's buff is really good, but if you got a Revenant that knows what they're doing, this could be really devastating. So also on the ultimate, the range is removed on the death totem. That's a given. That should have been done as soon as the game came out, or as soon as Revenant came out, because that range just didn't make any sense and was not necessary at all. So Revenant's really good now, in my opinion. I think so. We'll just have to wait and see how he plays out in the meta. Also, Crypto, a little bit of a buff here. His tactical now, it only takes a second and a half when it used to be 2.5 seconds. So the actual drone coming out is going to be a little bit quicker than what it used to be, and his ultimate EMP will now disable Watson's pylons, which is her little trophy system thing. So that's going to be good to see. And then moving on to Loba, this is something we really needed from Loba. They kind of did fix some quality of life issues that I'm not going to cover in this, but these are some actual buffs and nerfs, not quality of life fixes on this. So Loba's tactical burglar's best friend will no longer be intercepted by Watson's pylon. Then our ultimate black market boutique will now only pick up 1 stack of ammo rather than 1 stack plus the amount that was required to fill whatever the partial stack you had in your inventory. So basically a little bit of a nerf there, slightly nerfed. Ultimate accelerants now give 20% ultimate charge from 17.5%. So not much of a buff on Loba, but they're moving in the right direction. You guys know how they did with Revenant. They started off slow, then eventually got better. So Loba, in my opinion, still needs more buffs, but this is a step in the right direction. Now moving on to Mirage, we have the same thing, kind of nerfs and kind of buffs here. You can now hold the tactical button and release to auto control decoys. Decoys will now say lines when they get shot at. And a little bit of a change to Mirage's passive. When cloaked, Mirage hollow emitters will be visible to players that are less than 5 meters away. So if you're right on them, I guess they'll be able to actually see you, sort of, if they pay close enough attention. Also, when you skydive, Mirage will now create decoys for the entire squad when skydiving, if you're still diving with your squad and you haven't split up yet. So that'll be pretty good of a buff, because you can kind of just turn towards a name location and act like you're going there, and people might think, hey, we got a squad landing with us, when in reality they don't, and that could help you cover some more ground when trying to loot. Gibraltar got a little bit of a nerf here. They just kind of took his fast heal granted inside the dome shield from 25% speed to down to 15%. So a little bit of a nerf there, not too much though, so nothing too big on Gibraltar. Caustic enemies can cancel. This is a good one, guys. You guys are going to be excited about this one. Caustic can now be disabled by whenever he throws his barrels down and he tries to auto shoot them just to make them explode or make them go off, so you can't really control anything. It's kind of like using it as a grenade. You can actually shoot the barrel as soon as he throws it, and it'll disable it before it activates. So enemies can cancel Caustic's barrel by shooting it before it fully inflated. So also moving on to Wattson, the intent of these changes is to create openings where enemies can breach Wattson positions. It is possible for Wattson to players to hold a position with the trophy indefinitely, but that should come to a cost of using ultimate accelerant. So Wattson's pylons now only last for 90 seconds instead of indefinitely. Wattson can now have up to 3 pylons at a time, and Wattson can stack 2 ultimate accelerants per inventory slot. So you can still get all of those pylons like you used to, as you would see in the pro player ranked meta, but it's going to require some more effort with those ultimate accelerants. So moving on to Wraith now, before you get too worried, I actually think that this Wraith is a good buff nerf. They did take away some things, but they added some new things too. I think is going to be really good. So they have the phase walk that they changed, and they changed it from 1.25 seconds to get into it, and it was 0.4. So when you use your Q ability, your tactical ability, it was almost instant. Now it takes about another second almost. During this time, Wraith will receive a 20% move slow. So it does take it does slow you down a little bit, and it's not going to be a get out of jail free card like they said. It's going to take, you have to get in a pretty safe spot in order to use it. So if you're running away, you can't just use it in the open. You're probably going to have to get behind a truck and then use it, or something like that. This does not affect phase walk while placing phase portals, so don't get that confused. While in the phase walk though, Wraith now gets a 30% move speed boost, so that's a pretty good one. That really does help you get away from bad situations. And also while you're in the phase walk, you can see other players in the void, so you're not just running cluelessly. You can actually know where to run to without getting shot. Also, it's increased from 4 seconds long instead of 3 seconds long, and the phase walk cooldown is now 25 seconds for your tactical ability instead of 35. And then the phase tunnel decreased distance from for portal placement by 25%. So a little bit of a nerf and buff, but I think overall it's a good one. Also, weapons and loot. Zip lines will now, so this is going to be good. No one can spam zip lines anymore and kind of dodge shots. A cooldown will be applied to re-grappling zip lines without touching the ground. The cooldown will increase each time a player disconnects and re-grabs the zip line. The cooldown will reset when the player touches the ground. So you can't just spam on the zip line over and over. You have to actually touch the ground or deal with the cooldown that you have. Havoc Rifle has been nerfed. This is really, really good. And then they also they say that they took the mag from 32 to 28, and then they also have a they greatly increased the horizontal recoil of the initial shots of a burst with the Havoc. So the aiming is going to be a bit off. The Sentinel rechamber time has been decreased from 1.75 to 1.6, so not a big deal there. And the energized duration, no one's really using the Sentinel anyways, so it's not that big of a deal, but the energized duration was from 90 to 120 seconds, so a little bit of a buff in that sense. So a lot of nerfs, a lot of buffs. I'm pretty excited for this update tomorrow. I can't wait to play it. The only downfall is as soon as I get home from work, my dog's got to get groomed, and luckily it's a mobile groomer though, so they're going to come to my house. Hopefully they'll let me play Apex while they're shaving my dog, so I don't know. I don't really know how that's going to work. I don't want to seem like a bad dog parent, so I'll just say that I'm going to sit there in the bus with him the whole time he's being shaved. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the update tomorrow. I know I'll be playing it a lot, and I'm sure you guys will be as well. So comment down below what you guys think of all of these buffs and nerfs and let me know who you think the best character will be after this update. I'm going to make a video probably on Thursday of who I think the best character in the game is now, and then we'll just kind of go from there and see what all these updates bring. So I challenge you guys to learn how to live. Grab your friends tomorrow, play some Apex together, have a good time. There's nothing that you'll remember more when you get to the end of Apex than all the memories you made with the friends that you had. So grab them, get together tomorrow, play the update, and tell me who you think the best legend is. I'll see you all when the update comes out on stream tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Be there, and peace out. I hope you all have a great day.